Hi friends, it's Angela with Wild Violets. I know it's been such a long time since I've done a video, but I decided that I needed to show folks how to make this lovely car. And I found a little trick that I think will help those that want to try to do something very similar to this. So as you can see, all of these flowers are watercolored and also the leaves. And I'm using this die from the Abigail Rose or Cottage Rose Bundle. So the Abigail Rose Sweet Collection is where this comes from, and it just has really beautiful foliage. But this die was a little frustrating for me because it's so pretty. It matches the DSP, but when I was looking at the DSP that it was coming at from, or that it would cut, I was noticing that I could only get maybe 1, 2, 3 full cuts. And I had fallen in love with the excuse me, the DSP on the other side so much. I love this old ledger look, so I didn't want to waste that. And then looking through the stamp sets, as you can tell, this does fit it, and these 3 flowers fit it as well, but nothing else. So it doesn't quite show it, but if you take a look here, you can see that, let's see, which are the 3? Oh, I have it going the wrong way. There we go. So these 3 flowers fit here, and this stamp fits here. So as you can see, there's all this stuff that doesn't have anything, and I wanted to be able to use this die because I think it makes tons of little flowers and leaves that I thought would make really pretty floral arrangements. So what I did is I cut out a piece. Now this is from a prior one, using the die, and this is the Fluid 100 watercolor paper that Stampin' Up! Sells. And as you can see, I've cut one out, and I'm using my Petal Pink stamp pad, and I put a little bit of ink. I squirt a little water in there. I've dripped from the re-inker. Obviously, not everybody likes to have messy stamp pads, but I don't mind. And what I do first is I'll wet the spot completely with a light brush of the color, and then I'll come back with darker along the bottom, maybe a little around the edge, just to kind of give it some depth. And you just kind of keep doing that. You do again a light brush, and this helps you make sure that you're watercoloring in the right place, because I was thinking, oh, I'll just watercolor a whole sheet, but then I realized I'd be cutting out leaves, and I wanted my leaves to be so. This allows me to make sure I keep track of where the petal pink goes and where the green for this. And again, if you wet the whole thing, then you could come back with the darker ink, and it just kind of bleeds into the rest of it. And when you cut it out, it'll turn out real pretty. So I'm just going to clean off these water painter, and I'll start using, oh sorry, this is Pear Pizzazz, not Old Olive, my apologies. So again, I squirt out some water so I can just get the whole area wet with color. This is kind of a cheat for those that don't know how to watercolor. And then I'll just come in with the darker, maybe on the bottom side of the leaves or one side of the stem. You just kind of keep repeating the same thing, just that whole one is dark, but for the leaves. Come back with that dark. You can see how it just kind of spreads. It has that really pretty watercolor look. And then just come back with the darker. And you just keep repeating until you get the whole thing done. Okay, so as you can see, I'm all done with all my flowers and leaves, and I'm just gonna let it set for a minute before I die cut it, because I obviously don't want all this paint on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so I think the color is set enough that I'm not going to get any issues with the paint transfer onto my plate. Then you just pop out each one of the little flowers or leaves. And you can see that I use the bigger ones for the base. So there's 3 that are bigger. And then I just stacked other flowers on top to kind of give it a 3D effect. So you just choose which one you want to stack with. And then I think the last 2, I think I more or less just kind of overlap those. And then once you get the leaves out, and you can just glue those on. And then you can arrange your flowers however you'd like. And I think for this one I used this. And then, yeah, and I used the smaller one for this one. And I just tucked these flowers in over here. And you just kind of tuck them under each other and layer. That gives you an idea of how I went about making this card. And then this one was just on the other side of the sentiment. And the other little leaves, you could just place them wherever you want to. Just tuck them underneath your flowers to get whatever look you want. But isn't that an easy way to watercolor some really pretty flowers out of this Cottage Rose bundle? So these are actually the dies, which are called the cottage flowers. So really pretty effect. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe and follow Angela at Wild Violets Art or wildvioletsart.com for my website. Thank you.